Vegas rap podcast, Louis J. Gomez made an announcement. So I'm going to play that announcement, then give you my thoughts on it. And I'll give you my thoughts on if I think this is actually going to happen or not. But, I mean, Louis seems like pretty sure that it is going to happen. But, all right, let's check out the announcement, and then I'll give you my thoughts on what's really going to happen.
So I spoke to Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen yesterday.
Nice.
So would you guys, if we did a crossover LOS Fighter and the Kid, would that be something that people would want to see?
Of fucking course.
I think so. I think it'd be fun. I think there's look, if Schaub can come in and just be a fucking ball buster and just take his licks and fuck around, because that's what Whitney did. That's what Callen did.
Yeah.
I think our audience was super receptive to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
How did you want?
that is more money.
Brendan want? Yeah, he does.
I spoke to him. We spoke on the phone. I never spoken to him on the phone before.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did he say? So what do you mean?
He was essentially like, yo, I thought you hated me. So, and I was like, bro, I don't fucking know you. He was like, so I guess like Bert told him he should like talk to me just about some other shit having nothing to do with the podcast. But then we spoke and we talked about maybe doing a show, and he was like, I think I'm not sure your audience would like me. And I was like, yo, first of all, my audience would love if you just came on and fucking like were like real. Our audience would love it. Our audience would fucking love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem is, I think a lot of LA comedians, I think they look at it like they don't understand. Like, what's funny is being a loser. It's not funny being like there's nothing funny about Brendan Schaub knocking out Crow Cop. It's hilarious watching him get knocked out by fucking what's his name?
I think it's funny that, I mean, he can be funny and entertaining, but obviously he's not.
No,
he did more time.
So many people have fucking channels on YouTube for that. It's stupid. Like, his wife deals with it. Whatever. The truck walk, you bring that shit up? Would you bring all that shit up?
Yeah, why not?
Louis? Alright, so then is he down with that?
If he...
Well, like, did he say, hey, if I come through, you can't talk about this?
Nope. In fact, I'll even say this much. When we had Callen on and we had him do the lie detector, he goes, yes, I'll do it. And then I go to him, I was like, hey, is there anything you don't want us to mention? And then he goes, dude, he was like, no. I ended up not asking him about the rape shit because I thought it was kind of a cunty move. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a dick move. Like I'm not having anybody on the podcast. Yeah, he was a cool enough guy to come on. I'm not having anybody on to like be a dick and try to catch him and be a fucking like. That's not what I'm doing. Like
this is not rape though. This is more like, hey, bro, you're a fucking fighter coming through this bitch taking like easy. It's like, what's up? What do you think about? I don't know. What kind? Enemy UAV active. What jokes do you got about him? Yeah, I don't think you ever talk shit. You never talk shit about.
I talk mild shit. Like it feels like it's a shit. You're like, ooh. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. Not gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Brendan Schaub is not going to go on Legion of Skanks. They're not gonna do a crossover. Basically, like Louis just said, if Brendan says we can't talk about this, he wouldn't have him on. Second of all, Brendan knows that me and Louis J. Gomez are friends. I will hit up Louis J. Gomez and tell him, you better ask him about that lawsuit and stuff. But Brendan Schaub in general just couldn't handle that. He couldn't go on that show or do whatever type of crossover they would think about doing. But yeah, not gonna happen. And I like how Brendan called him, I thought you didn't like me. Nobody likes you. Of course he doesn't like you. He just have to pretend to because he still wants the potential to go on Rogan. But, but seriously, yeah, I don't see this happening in a million years. Brendan Schaub would never be able to handle it. Him going on Legion of Skanks. Do you know what kind of bloodbath that would be? That idiot on there. But the only way it could happen is if he goes on there and like they make fun of him, but he's too stupid to know that he's being made fun of. So he's just staring off in the corner with drool coming out of his mouth, like, oh, Papa? But I mean, yeah, I'm really not seeing this happening. Now, I gotta hit up Lewis like right after I make this video and be like, all right, man, if he's really coming on, if you get him on that podcast, there's a list of questions you have to ask him. So, and Lewis will do it. I have two guys, well, when I ask to do stuff, they usually do it. Bob Kelly and Louis J. Gomez. That's how I got Bob Kelly to ask Bobby Lee that question about Brendan Schaub and how upcoming Bobby Lee is going to be interviewing Dan Soder. And let me assure you, another question of mine about Brendan Schaub will be asked to Dan Soder by Bobby Lee. But yeah, this whole thing, I'm just not seeing it happening. I mean, I don't even. Could you imagine Brendan Schaub on Legion of Skanks? How could you talk about anything about what a monumental douchebag that Brendan is? It would consume the entire show. I get he would have Callan there as sort of a buffer, but man, I just don't see it happening. Although, another possibility, I also don't know how desperate Schaub really is at this point. Remember, he's wasting a bunch of his dad's money on the lawsuit. His podcast is in the gutter. He might be just desperate to get some eyes on him. I mean, Joe Rogan just canceled the Fight Companion on him on his birthday. And this man missed his birthday. I mean, missed his son being born just to go do a Fight Companion. So maybe he's that desperate. But trust me, if he ends up on there, I'm going to give Lewis, although Lewis already knows, but I'll just give him a reminder. I'll DM him on Twitter. I'll talk to him when we play Modern Warfare, and I'll be like, all right, you got to bring up the lawsuit. You got to bring up Mark Harley. Like he even said in that clip, they got it to talk about the Trugwog. But I don't see this happening. But if it does happen, I would love it. It would be amazing and hilarious. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.